Welcome back to the Property Wealth Pod, where we dive into the big headlines shaping your home, your investment, and your future. My name is Joel.
And I'm Alan. Okay, today we're going to talk about something that's making the waves. Okay, the government has decision that to end the selective en bloc redevelopment. Okay, the SERS for the older resale flats.
Yeah, that's a big one, right? So for years, SERS was like the HDB jackpot, right? If your block got picked, you got a new flat with fresh 99-year lease, very often very nearby, and you were compensated at market value. Sometimes even more than what the resale would have gotten you, right?
Hold on, the jackpot is exactly the problem, okay? So it's a lottery mindset, you see. Everybody wants it, but less than actually 4% of people got it actually. So yet people are paying a premium to get that lottery.
That's true. You can't deny that. But that hope kept some of the older flats more valuable, right? So if you look at Tanglin Halt, Red Hill, without SERS, those prices for the 40-over-year-old flats there might have tanked very much earlier.
Yeah, but this is actually why ending it here might be actually the right move. The government say that it's expensive, it's unsustainable. Okay, so frankly, most suitable flats has already gotten SERS if they are suitable.
But that's why I disagree. You know, the timing, right? We've got thousands of flats going to hit their 50-year-old mark in the next decade. Ending SERS before even VERS is ready, you know, that's going to leave a lot of owners stranded, right?
Yeah, it is what it is, okay? So for the listeners who are not familiar, SERS actually started in 1995. Okay, that's like 30 years ago. Okay, HDB would compulsory acquire the selected blocks and then they'll pay you the market value. So you will most likely buy a brand new flat around there, around the vicinity, okay, often it's nearby, at a subsidized rate. Okay, and because of it is compulsory, right, everybody on the block had to move.
Okay, right. I think the big deal here is the market value often beat what you could get selling your old flat in the open market, right? Especially if your lease was already down to 40 to 50 years already.
That is where people gamble on SERS, you see or not? Let's say there's this block that's near the MRT, 45 years old. People will say that it's like SERS candidate. Okay? And agents sometimes even market it that way.
And sometimes they were right? That's why people felt that there was always this chance, you know.
And now the chance zero, okay, no more.
All right, so why this actually happened, right? So the minister said it's because of the pool of suitable flats is shrinking. The cost is ballooning. But isn't that exactly where people needed help most? When the asset is aging and losing value, right?
Okay, that's a emotional argument, okay. But the financially, if the government is going to SERS for every single old flat, okay, you're going to bankrupt the systems. Okay, the government might not have enough money for that. Okay, we have 1 million HDB flats, 1 million, okay. Imagine acquiring and then rebuilding just 20% of it. Okay, how much money is going to take?
So what's the alternative? VERS? And that's not even here yet. It's also voluntary, which means compensation is likely to be, compensation is already stated to be less attractive and provided everybody want to sell, right?
Okay, so that's exactly the thing lah. So VERS is designed to be realistic. Okay, it's not meant to be like a windfall. It's not a lottery. Okay, so it's to renew towns, not for everybody to like reset the 99-year lease.
Yeah. Okay, before we go any further, Alan, I think we've got this friend, right? With a question that fits exactly into today's topic, right?
Exactly. This is so as I got this friend, she's living in Toa Payoh. She has a 46 years old flat.
Yeah.
Okay. So she always say that her flat is going to be the SERS candidate. Okay, because it's old. With these deals now, okay, she's asking me whether she should sell now or wait until the SERS, wait until the VERS.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really good question, right? So I think a lot of people out there are going to face the same questions as your friend here, Personally, I said don't rush. if the location is strong, near MRT, market, school, right? Still got buyers out there, right? If you sell now in a panic, you might actually sell below what you should be getting, right?
I will have to disagree here. Okay, you're right now at the danger zone of value drop. You see. Okay, so if you know that you are living long term, right? Okay, lease it while the effect of this news haven't come into full effect. Okay, it's gonna come in sooner or later. Okay, but while your flat still has the certain value right now, okay, you should do it now.
But Verse could still give her a decent payout later, right? And then with Verse, right, she no need to move 2 times, ma.
So the thing is, the Verse is also a gamble as of now, because we don't know what the compensation value is now. Okay, what's the formula? Okay, then like whether is it going to be agreed upon, and moreover, it's going to have to wait for another 15 years.
All right, but I mean, I think that's 2 different perspectives that we both have, lah. Right? So ultimately, I think it's going to depend whether your friend is actually happy living in there for another 10 to 15 years, or if she'd rather actually secure the value today, lor.
Okay, here's a twist. Some people will be thinking, if SERS is gone, then now I can go and buy an old flat cheaply.
Yeah.
Okay, and then wait for the Verse, and then I cash out on the Verse itself. Okay, and I think that one might be a very, very bad idea.
Actually, I think it's a small case. There's a small case for it, right? If the flat is cheap enough, so for example, if a buyer comes in and buy the flat so cheap and in a good location, they're willing to stay, and there's uncertainty, right? I think it's still a decent buy, ma.
Exactly, the uncertainty is something that we don't want to have. You see, okay, Verse is not guaranteed. Okay, for one thing, Verse is not guaranteed. Everybody has to agree onto it. Okay, and if your block, let's say, goes through the Verse itself, okay, the payout is meant to be fair. It's not going to be a windfall. Then if you want to hold for 20 years and get less than what you got itself, then the maintenance of the flat and then the all the costs that's involved is not going to be wise, lah.
That's true, but I mean, if it's going to be 10 years, right? That's like after you clear your MOP, right? You still can rent out, ma. So you're going to get probably a decade of rental, while you wait, And then for some investors, that's more than enough, And the Verse payout was basically just a bonus at the end, ma.
Okay, that's assuming you can rent it out easily, lah. The older the flat is, the more maintenance it's going to have. Okay, so I've rented out older flats before, lah. You need to have a lot of maintenance done to it, and you need to attract a tenant to a decent, well-kept place.
Okay, so your position is never buy for Verse, right?
Yes, my position, don't go for anything that's like Verse candidate even. Okay, if Verse candidate is your main reason to buying, right? I mean, in terms of price, location, and use, okay, if you use it for yourself, fine. Okay, but investment strategy, a big no-no.
Okay, I think that's a fair enough point, So I think bottom line for Alan, buy an older flat because it makes sense for your current needs.
Yes, your lifestyle needs. Buy for your lifestyle needs.
Not banking on the payout 20 years away, Okay, so for you know as well as I do, right? Some flats in the mature estate had this SERS premium last time, and then they actually factor that into the price. Without it, I mean, now today with this announcement, I expect some of the older flats to drop maybe 5 to 10% over the next few years, right?
I would say it might even go higher. Okay, once the buyers start doing the calculation on the lease decay itself, okay, some prices will drop like 15% or more. Okay, I'm not doomsday sayer now, but the thing is that even the rental is not going very strong, right?
I mean, don't drama lah. Don't drama lah. You see, at the end of the day, Singapore always say, location, correct or not? So prime location will still carry value, right? imagine old Queenstown, some of the old Queenstown flats, right? You know, 5 minutes roll to MRT station. There will be people who still want to pay the price for that convenience, right?
Yep, that's a maybe. So, but the thing is, if you are young, you are going to take a 25-year lease. Okay, are you going to go to something that's left with like 40 years?
25-year loan, right? I mean, sorry, you mean 25-year loan,
25-year loan, yes. You get a 25-year loan, and then you want to get something that's like 40 to 50 years left in the lease. Okay, so what's going to happen next? Okay, the buyer pool, the resale pool is going to shrink very, very fast from there on.
Okay, so I mean, I think that we also need to acknowledge this thing called the emotional impact, right? Some people, especially some of the older folks, right, they held on to the property for literally decades, you know, because they believe, SERS coming and the government will come and help me and rescue me, right?
Okay, so that's the danger of like depending on the government policy lah. When you are investing itself, it's always important that you know that the policy will change. Okay, so that's why I always tell my client, okay, buy for what it is for now. Okay, if it makes sense now, then okay, and then you hope that something good will happen. That's usually not the way to go for it lah.
I mean, it's easy to say now lah, you know, but looking back, it's always very easy, right? If your neighbor got SERS 5 years ago,
Survivor
and then
syndrome.
they double their flat, right? You every day sit at home and people give me SERS also, right?
Okay, so yeah lah. These are some things that I think is going to happen. Okay, from this here on. Okay, the buyers are going to get more cautious about the purchase. Then the seller for the 40 to 60 years old flats, right, is going to rush to sell in a few years' time to come. Okay, they might want to sell before the price soften a lot. Okay, then the renter of the older flat, okay, they might go up a little bit because instead of selling, they might rent it out. Okay, so that's the three things that I think will happen.
Okay, I think I will add one more to this lah. You know, there will be more attention shifting to the BTOs and the resale flat with all the longer leases, basically all the newer ones. The young buyers will be more willing to pay premium for 99 leasehold condos, even versus the 50-year-old HDBs, right?
And let's not forget, real estate is still all about location. Okay, location. Bukit Merah, Queenstown, all these places, Toa Payoh, Bishan, all these places, they will still have demand. Okay, and maybe not the same premium that they are getting right now.
I mean, so I think for some tips for the current owners and buyers lah. If you own an older flat today, you know, tip number one: call your agent, call us, get an indicative valuation of your flat today. Right? Understand your current position before the market adjusts. Because if today you don't do something like this, if the market shifts, you can't even tell which direction it's going, right?
Yeah. Tip number two, I would say, if you're buying, don't gamble. Okay, don't gamble on all the policy and all this. Okay, focus on the lease length, location, and then focus your own holding period instead.
Okay, so I think one more tip to add on also is if your flat is the biggest asset that you hold on today, right? Please diversify. You know, don't put all your retirement hopes into this one property that's getting older and older and older, right?
Okay, so one final tip from me, I think if you must keep your old flat, okay, I rather you rent out the rooms to generate income from there, okay, while the lease runs down.
Okay lah, I think today we debate enough today. If not, later they see we all like fighting all the time, man. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the point. The end of SERS is not just a policy change. Okay, it is a mindset change that everybody should have.
Okay, so I think if you found this video useful, please share this episode with someone you know who might be staying or owning this sitting in a very old HDB, the sooner that they know, the better the better position that they will be to make a decision.
And this is the Property Wealth Pod. I'm Alan.
And I'm Joel, and we'll see you in the next video.